All right, guys. Well, welcome back. I am back. I went on a little mini vacation with my family, and it was amazing. And honestly, it was the first real family vacation that we've ever taken, and it was just so awesome. So we spent 3.5 days in Tahoe, and then we ended our trip in Monterey, which was perfect weather. So we got the best of both worlds for our kids. So our two younger, they wanted to go to Tahoe and go to the snow because they've never seen snow. So it was super awesome. They got to do that. And then of course my oldest, she's in love with the beach. I mean, honestly, all of us are in love with the beach. We have been ever since we lived in Florida 8.5 years ago. So that's crazy to even think about that we have been in California for 8.5 years. Any Hoosers, here we go. So tonight, I am going to be making, on our vacation, I typically don't eat regular pasta, and I didn't actually order it. My son did, and he ordered, it was the penny, pasta Alfredo. Man, it was so good. So of course I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to make that. But tonight I'm gonna be using gluten-free pasta, which is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite pastas ever. So that's the one that I'm gonna be using. And then I am gonna add a little bit of the other in there too. So I'll cook the whole box and probably half of the other, and it's a 12-ounce box. So, because I definitely want extra with this. So I'm gonna give you the ingredients first. To make this, I usually make it with just butter, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of salt and pepper, and like the tiniest pinch of nutmeg. It changes the flavor for some reason, and I don't know why, but it's delicious. I do like Alfredo sauce, regular Alfredo sauce, and I love the Alfredo sauce that I made with my spaghetti squash, I think like a week and a half ago with the cashews, because that sauce was so good. I was surprised. But tonight I'm using real cheese because it's delicious. So for this recipe, what you need to know is you need a half a cup of butter. So it's just one of the smaller ones, half a cup. And then 4 ounces of cream cheese. And then it's 1 pint of heavy whipping cream, so it's 2 cups. And then you need a half a teaspoon of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder I'm gonna put in there, and then 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and then 1 cup grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm gonna put this video on pause because Dave's gonna make a latte right now, so I'll be right back. All right, I am back here, and so what I'm gonna do now, I have the noodles cooking already, so they're boiling because the cheese sauce only takes about 3 to 5 minutes. And then I forgot to say in here, what I have also is some broccoli that I got from my Farm Fresh to You box. And so what I do is of course I cut the broccoli up so it's smaller pieces, and then I just put a little bit of water in the bottom. I bring it to a boil and then I shut it off so the broccoli isn't too soft. So what I'm gonna do is take the butter, the heavy cream, and the cream cheese, and I'm gonna melt all that together first. So that's what we're gonna do here. So that's gonna cook and it's gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna put this in there. It's a little bit warm. I'm cooking it it's on 4 right now, so it's not super hot because I don't want the cheese to burn. Okay, so I have the cream cheese here, and I actually don't need that much. I only need 4 ounces, so I cut the 8-ounce block in half, and then I'm just gonna get a paper towel, wipe my hands, and then I will whisk that until that melts. And so I started the noodles while we were on a little bit of a pause, because they'll take about 12 minutes, really. But I'll even shut those off before they're done, so the noodles aren't too soft. And then they'll, I'll just keep them in the water. That's why I shut them off a little earlier too, because they'll keep cooking. So that way the noodles are not overcooked. And then I will get this cheese done, which I can't wait to try it. So this is the first time I've had this cheese. So that's gonna melt. Let's just get that cream cheese. It's already melting. It's gonna be so delicious. And then once that's done melting, then I'll add the minced garlic and the spices in there. So for a second there, I thought that the timer wasn't timing. So, yeah, pretty simple and quick meal to make. I went back to work today, so I wanted to come home and just find something that would be quick to make. This would only take maybe 20-25 minutes tops, and that's from cutting everything up, and I pre-measure everything out, so all I have to do is just dump it in, so it's much easier that way. I made this amazing bread last night, so it was literally like 5 ingredients. I will do a video of the bread that I made. Heaven, it was so good. I am going to also try it with gluten-free flour and just see how it turns out, because that's how I eat. But I still had several pieces of that bread last night. It was really good. I feel like right now, I kind of want, like macaroni and cheese or Alfredo. It's like mac and cheese. It's just a different kind of cheese. It's comfort food to me, and I'm like, for some reason my body's like, give that to me. So I don't eat it all the time, but tonight I'm going to, friends, and so are my kids. So this cheese is almost melted, and so it's pretty thin right now, and what will help thicken it up is when I put the Parmesan cheese in, which that doesn't go in until almost towards the end. So I'll put in the minced garlic. I don't know. Oh yeah, I did tell you guys, half a teaspoon of minced garlic, and I actually have just a little bit more garlic that's actually in there. So this is pretty melted right now, and so I'm gonna add, just make sure. Oh my gosh, it smells good. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't burn. So you want to keep stirring it with a whisk to make sure that that's not, that is not burning to the bottom of the pan. So what I'm going to do is I pre-measured out all of my spices, and so I'm just going to put all of those in there. There's the garlic, and then there's the spices, and so I'm just going to whisk that together again. We mixed all of that in there. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering right now. It just says mix it until it's smooth, which it's already smooth. And so I just want to make sure that, kind of the garlic powder that was in there, you want to make sure that that's mixed in really good. So I'm just going to kind of stir those noodles up again. And those are just about done. A trick we learned is when you're cooking noodles or you're boiling noodles on the top of the pan, unless it's like right now, what do I have it on? I have it actually on 9, and it's not boiling over. There's a trick, I guess, that they say you can use. I don't know if is it true, but it doesn't seem to boil over ever. So we just put that on top so it doesn't boil over. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is mix in the Parmesan cheese. And so once I mix in the Parmesan cheese into this sauce, then it's about 2 to 3 minutes you're gonna let it simmer. So you're gonna turn it all the way down. Actually like 3 to 5 minutes is really what you wanna do. So I'll put the cheese in a little bit at a time and just stir it up. And then I'll kind of gauge it. So I'll look, and really what I'm going for is a creamier Alfredo sauce, and that's what the cream cheese does. The cream cheese helps it to be creamier, because sometimes when I would make Alfredo sauce and use just the Parmesan, it doesn't it doesn't get like creamy. It's not like real, you know. And that's what I'm looking for. Like that Alfredo sauce that we had in Monterey, it was ridiculously good. So that is what I'm trying to do. So I'm thinking that my noodles are just about done, so I'm gonna turn them off. And then I'm gonna turn this on to low. It's pretty melted. I'm so tempted to try it right now because it smells so good. Okay, so I will just take that little whisk and I'll put it in there. So bring it to a simmer, continue to cook about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm just gonna move my tea here so I don't dump it. 3 to 5 minutes, or until it starts to thicken. So you're gonna kind of pay attention to it. If it's not thick enough for me, I will take a little bit more of the grated Parmesan cheese. So I should have showed you that. So, or shredded. I use just the Whole Foods brand of the shredded Parmesan cheese. So, and then while we're doing that, I'm just gonna try one of these noodles. I want to try both. So I used both noodles in here. So I have both of them. I don't know if you can see them. There's that one, and then that one. The perfect. They are perfect. So the sauce to me still seems so I might, my goodness, I can't wait to eat that. I'm gonna take the broccoli and I'm just gonna dump that out and then put it back in the pan. So that way it's, because there's still some water in there, so I don't want that to cook. So I will be right back. And so all I did was just dumped the water out. I'm gonna put it back in the pan, and then I'll use that strainer again for the noodles. So once the cheese is done, it's starting to thicken up. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna mix the cheese sauce in with my noodles. I'll just put it on top and then just put the extra in a mason jar. That way we can just kind of scoop out with the leftovers, just scoop it out and then put it on top of, you know, the noodles and when we reheat it. So it's gonna be delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna put just a little bit more of the Parmesan cheese in it. Not much, probably just about a handful, or, you know, a pinch with all of your fingers. That's what that is. And a little for extra, why not? So I even thought about taking parsley and putting that in here too, you know, just for some color. So when you're eating it, I might actually have some parsley. So I'm gonna let that finish up a couple more minutes and I will be right back. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna have my kids try it too, but they're gonna be over to my left. But I put some of the noodles already on the plate. Rowan, could you just bring me that parsley that's on there, please? So I'm just gonna get a little bit of the broccoli too. Which, if that sauce gets on the broccoli, I'm not gonna be mad. It's gonna be amazing. So, okay, hold on just a second, Ro. Oh man, this is gonna be so good. So I'm just gonna take that off because I don't want it to keep cooking. I mean, the stove is off, but I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna bring it closer just so you can, there it is. Look at how creamy that is. So when I would make it with just the Parmesan, it wasn't that creamy. I'm gonna put a little more on there. And I need a fork. I mean, I would eat it with my hands, I don't really care. So, and then what I'm gonna do is, so I put a little bit of dried parsley in it too. I'm grabbing some parsley from Rowan, so she just sprinkled a little bit on there. So you can just kind of see it. Like, I mean, it's, I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe I can angle my phone down. Look at that. That looks so amazing. My mouth is, it's watering right now. I don't even want to use a fork. I want to just eat it off the plate. That'd be fine. Okay, here we go. Here is the taste test. It's literally ridiculous. It's so good. And that's that, folks. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. That's the best darn sauce I've ever made, and I like it because it's thick, but it's not too thick. So when you put it on there, it's perfect. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you check out my website, thejoyofcooking.org, and my YouTube channel, The Joy of Cooking. And thank you guys so much for watching, and be on the lookout for my bread. I'm gonna actually make that again tomorrow. So we made 2 small loaves. There's 1 left that we are probably gonna eat with dinner tonight. So thanks guys, see you next time.